Hi everybody, last year for Christmas I got a beer advent calendar which let me drink a new beer every day in the month of December as it counts down towards Christmas. I was posting daily reviews of them on my Snapchat story and people really seemed to like it, so this year I bought myself an advent calendar and I decided to actually keep the reviews, so I have the videos of every day. The advent calendar this year was from Brewdog. Brewdog is a multinational brewery and pub chain. It started in 2007 in Scotland, but it has since become a global brand. I've been to the locations in Columbus and in Pittsburgh. So I thought I would share my reviews from each day, all compiled together, for anyone who doesn't have me on Snapchat, where I've been posting them each day. I got to try a lot of new styles that I wouldn't normally buy for myself, so I got to learn about kind of what goes into each style, how they differ from one another. So I hope this video teaches you something about beer. Hope it encourages you to try new styles. There's a lot of variety within this calendar, and Brewdog makes a lot of different beers. It was a pretty fun thing to do, and I really hope you enjoy. Cheers. I made the mistake of not putting this one in the refrigerator, so it will be warm, but the first beer I've got for day one is Barista Vista. It is a vanilla espresso stout with an 8.5%. I love a good stout. I also really like vanilla flavoring, and despite hating anything like coffee or espresso flavor, I kind of like coffee flavored beer, so let's see how this is. Anywho. It's pretty good. I knew I'd like it because I like stouts and I like dark beer, but you can get a lot of the espresso taste, not as much of the vanilla as I think I'd like, but also it's warm, so certain flavors come out at different temperatures. But anywho, yeah, that's the first one of the month. Alright, hey everybody, it is December 2nd. Today's beer, we've got Hazy Jane Pineapple. Hazy Jane is one of the flagship beers of Brewdog, so they have a lot of them. It is a New England style IPA, 7.2%. I do not like IPAs, that is a fact about me. And a fact about beer, in case anyone ever asks you, its four main ingredients are water, malt, hops, and yeast. So that is a fun fact about beer for you, in case it ever comes up. Anyway, here's the Pineapple Hazy Jane. It's not bad. The pineapple's not super clear. It's definitely an IPA, but it's a drinkable IPA. It's not super foggy. It's not as hazy as the name suggests. But the sweetness of the pineapple is there. Anyway, enjoy. Hey everybody, it is December 3rd. We are ready for another beer review. Today it is Crimson Crown. It's an Imperial Amber Lager. Now, a lager is one of the two main types of beer. There is a lager and there is an ale. The difference is the type of yeast that is used in the beer. An ale will ferment throughout the entire beer, and it will settle at the top, and it's fermented at higher temperatures, whereas a lager, different type of yeast, it is fermented at the bottom of the beer at cooler temperatures, and it takes longer to do because it's a cooler temperature. Lagers tend to have a crisper, cleaner taste than an ale might have. Anyway, that is your fun beer fact of the day. Ambers and lagers. So anyway, let's crack into this one. It's Crimson Crown, 8.0%. Let's check it out. That's solid. It's got a good aftertaste. It has a nice bitter taste to it. Like I said, you can taste a sort of crisp cleanness, but I really like this one. I like a nice lager. It tastes like what you think a beer should taste like. It's nice and bitter, has a good flavor to it though. Anyway, cheers. Hey everybody, it is December 4th. Today's beer, we've got Elvis Juice. It is a grapefruit infused IPA. Elvis Juice is one of the main beers from Brewdog. It is pretty easy to find in a store because it's one of their most produced beers. I've had this one before when I've been to the tap room in Columbus, and it's not bad. I'm not a huge IPA guy, though. I think I've mentioned that already. But what is an IPA? IPA stands for India Pale Ale. During British colonization of India, the sailors were looking to have a beer that could survive the trip when they would sail from Britain to India. And so they made one with extra hops in it that would kind of increase the lifespan of the beer itself. So IPAs accentuate the hops being one of the four main ingredients in beer. So it accentuates this hop flavor. So IPAs can range in all sorts of flavors because it's based a lot on the type of hop being used in the brewing. But this one's grapefruit. Not a huge grapefruit flavor guy either. So this is kind of not the best combo. But I don't know. Sometimes I get surprised. So let's try it out. Okay, it is pretty good. It's not super hoppy, but there's a sweetness to it. It's less bitter than I think I was expecting for something that's grapefruit flavored. There's a sweetness to it. I get why it's one of their best-selling beers. It's pretty drinkable. It's a clean sort of beer. Anyway, cheers. Hey everybody, it is December 5th. Today we have Punk IPA. Now, my thoughts on IPAs are already known, but I've been pleasantly surprised so far by Brewdog's IPAs. This is a West Coast IPA. West Coast IPAs tend to have a higher amount of hops, and so can be more bitter than other styles of IPAs. It's a 7.5%. Fun fact about bitterness in beers, if you ever see the IBU on a beer, that is referred to the International Bitterness Units, which refers to how bitter a beer is. Now, it is not just the perceived bitterness of it, but specifically measures the number of iso-alpha acids in the beer, which is, for the chemistry fans out there, involved in the boiling process of the hops and as the chemicals break down and interact and stuff like that. I'm sure chemists can tell you all more about it, but there's actually a lot of science that goes behind beer making. Anyway, IPAs are higher in the IBU scale because they are higher bitterness. Whereas like a lambic or like more fruity beers are going to be lower in the bitterness scale. Anyway, so a West Coast IPA is going to be higher in that already range of high IBUs that you would find for an IPA. Anyway, this is Punk IPA. Let's check it out. Yeah, it's not the style of IPA I like. I knew immediately from cracking it open and smelling it. Wouldn't be a huge fan of this one. And I'm not. Anyway, that's it. Cheers. Hey everybody, today is December 6th. Today's beer, we've got Hazy Jane Mango. It is a New England style IPA. I already had Hazy Jane Pineapple on December 1st, but this one is mango flavored. Now, New England style IPA versus a West Coast IPA, and there's other styles of IPAs as well. New England style IPA is going to be more focused on citrusy flavors. It's going to have a hazier look, so they're also called hazy IPAs. Obviously, I'm drinking them out of a can, but if I were to pour them, you could see the clearness of a West Coast IPA versus more hazy, opaque sort of look in a New England style IPA. Yeah, anyway, that's one of the major differences. These focus less on bitterness, more on hop aroma, and a sort of fruity, citrusy flavor, whereas the West Coast IPAs are going to be more emphasis on the hop flavor. Anyway, so yeah, this is Hazy Jane Mango. I enjoy mango flavors. Iron City Mango is one of my favorite beers right now. So let's try this one out. Not bad. You can taste that it's an IPA. It has that sort of subtle bitterness to it. The mango comes through a bit more than the pineapple one did in the Hazy Jane Pineapple. It's got a solid aftertaste. It's got a fruitier aftertaste. So Hazy Jane Mango is pretty good. Check it out. Hey everybody, it is December 7th. We are already a week in. Today's beer is Lost Oak and Dagger. Lost is one of their regular types of lagers, but Oak and Dagger is a wood-aged lager. It is a 4.7%, so I'm assuming it'll be much like their other one, but it'll have more of that wood-aged taste. If you've ever had something that's been aged in wood, you can tell there's a subtly different taste. What's special about this one, or about their Lost beer, is they say that every beer they sell for this, they plan to plant, they want to remove twice the CO2 that they emit. So Brewdog says they are the only carbon negative brewery in the Lost Forest in the Scottish Highlands. Is their big reforestation plan to help create a carbon clean planet, which is supported through selling beer, and hence the name Lost for the Lost Forest in the Scottish Highlands. Anyway, that's it as far as this beer. Let's go ahead and give it a try. It's fine. It's got an interesting smell. I don't know how to quite describe it. It's got a stronger finish than it does like an actual taste, but it's kind of bitter on the back of the tongue, but not in a great way. Yeah, this is not a fantastic beer. The wood aging does come back. That's the aftertaste that I was talking about. That's the wood aging, I think, but it's got an off taste to it. I'm not a huge fan of this one. Anyway, hope the next one's better. Cheers. Hey everybody, it is December 8th. Today's beer is Cannon Blast. It is a dry hopped Pilsner. As you can see from the logo, it is supporting the Columbus Blue Jackets, which makes sense because it's brewed in Columbus, and that's the local hockey team. Pilsner is basically just a light lager. It's pretty standard, very drinkable beer. This one's only a 5.0%. It's a very drinkable, very crisp taste. Another fun fact about Brewdog and their support of sports, they actually have a beer at the World Cup right now. Lost Lager, which was the main version of the one I had yesterday, is being sold in Qatar. However, because they don't allow any public drinking at any of the stadiums, they are not selling it at the stadiums, but anywhere else you can buy it. You can get Brewdog at the World Cup. They are, however, doing an anti-sponsorship because of Qatar's mistreatment of migrant workers and of their criminalization of homosexuality. They are donating all of their profits from Lost Lager that is sold during the World Cup to support people who are misplaced and who are affected by this discrimination. So anyway, yeah, so they're kind of involved with the World Cup this year, but kind of not. Anyway, yeah, Brewdog, I guess, it's beer, sports, they go together. Just don't drink it in public in Qatar because it's illegal. Anyway, here's Cannon Blast. Alright. It's good. It's kind of like what I said. It's a Pilsner. It's just very drinkable. Solid aftertaste. Very subtle sort of hop flavor. Yeah, very drinkable. Nice and cold. I like that. And yeah, that's it for today. Thanks. Hey everybody, it is Friday, December 9th. Today I have Graph Attack. It is a session IPA. It says, living life on the grid. A session IPA is going to be a lower ABV or alcohol by volume than a regular IPA, so if it says session in front of it, it's because you're meant to be able to drink a few in a session, and so that's what it means. So this is only a 5.2%, which is lower than most IPAs. Now, my roommate requested earlier that I should talk about some of the cans, and the designs. Brewdog is a pretty minimalist, it's a pretty simple design on a lot of their cans, but this one stood out to me because it's actually got a grid on there. It's hard to see with the ring light, but yeah, it's got graphs on it, and you can see the bar graphs and the grid. And I thought this one was a cool design, so it really stood out to me. Something neat about it. Anyway, let's check this one out. It's a Graph Attack Session IPA. Here we go. Yeah, it's pretty decent. It's not as strong as a lot of IPAs, which is why you might be able to drink a few in a session. The IPA taste is there, that sort of hoppiness, but it's pretty decent. It's very drinkable. Cheers. Hey everybody, it is December 10th. I am drinking a beer at 10 in the morning because why not? Anyway, today is Kolsch, and you'll never believe it, it is a Kolsch. A Kolsch is a sort of hybrid between a lager and an ale, so it's a sort of third type of beer. They're meant to be very drinkable, crisp beers. Now they're made in Germany. The Kolsch originates from Cologne, Germany, and it is one of those where technically to be a true Kolsch it has to be from that area, but that doesn't really stop anyone else, the same way we call any sparkling wine a champagne, but whatever. Anyway, it's a 4.8%, pairs well with German foods, so if you were at like some German beer garden or Hofbrauhaus, you could have, you know, German sausage and potatoes and stuff like that. Very German one, very nice crisp taste. It's supposed to be very enjoyable, so let's try this one out. Oh goodness. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's drinkable, has a nice flavor, not super strong. Just a nice kind of standard sort of beer. I would enjoy one pretty much any time of the year. Nice and solid. Cheers. Hey everybody, it is December 11th. Today's beer is Hellcat. It is a cold IPA. This is a beer done in partnership with some band called Iron Maiden. I've never heard of these guys. They must be some like local band or something. I don't know. This is one of two different beers I know that Iron Maiden has done. When I was at the concert in Columbus a while back, I had Trooper, which was I think just a standard lager, but that was from a different brewery. But this is Iron Maiden and Brewdog working together to make a cold IPA. Now, a cold IPA is fermented at cooler temperatures, hence the name. Because it's fermented at colder temperatures, it has to use more yeast, or it has to use a combination of lager and ale yeast. I don't know specifically on this one, but they're meant to maintain that sort of mid to high level ABV for a standard IPA, but have a different sort of taste than you would for other styled IPAs. They're very new. The first one's only really started kind of getting made over in Portland around like 2017, 2018, so it's a new style of IPA. This is a recent beer, relatively speaking. Craft beer is not super old. But anyway, let's try this out. See how it is. That's good. It's a little bit more subtle than I would have expected. But that's pretty drinkable. It is a cold IPA. I just got it out of the fridge. But that's pretty good. I actually like this one quite a bit. Yeah, nice and subtle. I like the taste. Cheers. Hey everybody, it's December 12th, already halfway through the calendar. Today is Hazy Jane Peach. It's like many of the other Hazy Janes, except this time it is peach flavored. Not much else to say about that. One question I've been asked, do I keep the cans? The answer is yes, but not intentionally. I just have a really bad habit of not cleaning out the old cans from my room. So I do have 4 there. There's another one kind of behind my TV. So I don't keep them. I will recycle them eventually when I get around to it. Fun beer fact of the day, since I don't have anything to say about the type of beer, is that Brewdog has actually claimed the record for the strongest beer in the world twice. Once they had a beer called Sink the Bismarck that was a 41% ABV, or alcohol by volume. It was then taken by some other groups, and then eventually Brewdog had one. It was called, hold on, let me find it here. It was called The End of History. It was at a 55% alcohol by volume. which was the strongest they've ever produced. The current is actually held by a beer called Snake Venom from Brewmeister, which is claimed to be at around a 67.5%, which is just absurd. I don't know why would you even drink that. The point would be just to make the strongest one ever. Anyway, here's Hazy Jane Peach. Let me, if I can open it. It's okay. The peach doesn't come through super strong, but it's drinkable. It's nice and crisp. It's a 7.2%, so it's a New England style IPA. It's fine. It's nothing great, but I don't hate it. Cheers. Hey everybody, it is December 13th. Today's beer is Clockwork. It is a tangerine-infused IPA. It says Sensational Synchronicity. It's 4.5%, so it's very much a session. You're meant to be able to drink a few of these at a time. I'm looking forward to this one because I like orange flavoring of things. The tangerine sounds cool. Also, it's a reference to Clockwork Orange, either the Anthony Burgess novel or the Kubrick movie. Fun beer fact of the day. After water and tea, beer is actually the third most consumed beverage in the world, beating out other drinks you might think like coffee, but no, beer is pretty much enjoyed year-round all across the world. Anyway, let's try this one out. That one's pretty good. Yeah, the tangerine comes through quite a bit. It's got a sort of citrusy aftertaste. It smells good, like orange. Yeah, it's nice. It's very clean. Very drinkable. I like this one. Cheers. Hey everybody, it's December 14th. There's only about 40 minutes left in the day, so I'm cutting it pretty dang close to the cutoff, but I only just got home from work. Today's beer is Light Speed. It is a hazy IPA, and it's only 99 calories. That's why it's light. Hazy IPAs, as the name would suggest, if I were to pour this into a glass, it's got a very cloudy appearance, but they're meant to be less on the bitter side of other IPAs, that kind of juicier, more citrusy flavor to it, so you'll sometimes see them called juicy IPAs. It's only a 4.0%, so they are kind of on that lighter side, but that also has to do with the calorie and the amount of alcohol in there. Anyway, let's try this one out, see how it is. That's better than I thought it'd be. Just based off the smell, I was like, this isn't gonna be not bitter. Because it smells like a standard IPA, but it has a strong sort of taste. There's little hints of citrus in there, and that's not bad. Cheers. Hey everybody, it's December 15th. Today's beer is Cozy and Cordial. It is a Choco Cherry Stout. Stouts are probably one of my all-time favorite types of beer. It is the darkest style of beer that you're going to get in terms of color. It isn't super different from a porter. In fact, early in the history of beer, early porters, the ones that were very strong were just called stout porters, and then stout just kind of became the name of its own. So a stout is really just a very strong porter. It's brewed very similarly. Anyway, yeah, very dark beers. The way the malt is used in it, it can often take on a coffee chocolatey flavor to it. So you can get a lot of dessert stouts. So this one is chocolate and cherry flavored. So good time being it, it's December, so it's a good time to have this flavor. So let's check this one out. I'm looking forward to it. It's also a 8.5%. Stouts tend to be a tad stronger, and like an imperial stout can get up to 11%, 14%, pretty high for a standard beer. So let's check it out. Oh, that's really good. The chocolate is clear immediately. The cherry comes in a little later. It smells really good. I love the smell of stouts. Yeah, this one's really good. Definitely, if you have the chance, check it out. Cheers. Hey everybody, it's December 16th. Later tonight I'm going to a cat's birthday party that is also a Green Day themed Christmas party. So I'm doing my best to look like Billy Joe Armstrong. I didn't have a nice red tie, but I have a tie of Peanuts characters wearing ties, so that's what I'm getting today. Anyway, today's beer is Imperial Hazy Jane. It's a double New England style IPA. Now, if a beer is Imperial, it just means that it's stronger than the base version of that beer. So an Imperial IPA is going to be like a double IPA. So not exactly something I'm really looking forward to because I don't really like IPAs all that much, especially not one that's supposed to be more IPA than regular. It's a 9.0%, so it is a strong beer. Imperial IPAs can get pretty high ABV. So let's check it out, see if it's any good. It smells like a strong IPA. It's not as bitter as I thought it'd be. It's got that sort of hoppy taste that I expect from IPAs. Not as strong as I was anticipating, so I don't hate it as much as I thought I would. It's fine. It's drinkable for a 9%. It's not bad. I can enjoy this. Cheers. Hey everybody, it's December 17th. Today's beer is Amaze Mint, which is a mint chocolate cream ale. It sounds wonderful. A cream ale, despite the name, does not actually have any dairy in it. The name is just kind of a marketing term. It kind of refers to sort of the texture of the beer and sort of its look. It's versus like a milk stout, which actually does have lactose in it. There's no dairy in a cream ale. They're meant to be pretty smooth. You can do a lot of variety with it. It's mint chocolate, so it's more of a dessert beer. It's only a 5.5%, so nice, mid-range kind of stuff, but let's check it out. If I can open this. There it is. And it smells like mint chocolate ice cream. That's incredible. Wow, that's really good. It tastes like drinking mint chocolate. Like, it tastes like an Andes mint. It's so good. This is really good. Yeah, if you happen to find this one, and I don't think you will, because I'm pretty sure it's an exclusive for the Brewdog Advent Calendar, check it out because it's pretty solid. Cheers. Hey everybody, it is December 18th. Today's beer is Lost Planet First Lager. Now, Lost Oak and Dagger has so far been my least favorite beer in the whole month. So let's see if the standard version of that is better. I hope it is. It's a 4.7, just a kind of a standard lager, but I think I said on the other one, each one that is sold, they try to remove twice the CO2 that was used to produce the beer, and they plant trees in the Lost Forest in the Scottish Highlands. My other fun fact is that Barack Obama was the first president to brew a beer in the White House. Anyway, so let's try out Lost Planet First Lager. Alright, it smells better than the Oak and Dagger. It tastes a little better. Nothing to write home about. It's kind of just a standard beer. It's okay. Cheers. Hey everybody, it's December 19th already, which is absolutely crazy. Today's beer is Hazy Jane Passion Fruit. I'm obviously ecstatic to be drinking another Hazy Jane and another IPA. The fruit flavors have not always come through super strong. It's a 7.2%. So it's a little bit stronger, but I'm getting a little tired of IPAs. They're not exactly my favorite. I did accidentally already open this one because I just wasn't thinking and just opened it before I hit record. I haven't tasted it yet though, so I don't know what it tastes like. I've just opened it. Fun fact about beer, the builders of the Great Pyramids were actually paid in beer, so there was a lot of alcohol involved in the grueling process, I can imagine, of building the Great Pyramids. Anyway, let's try this one out. It's okay. It is fruitier than the other Hazy Jane varieties. I don't exactly know what passion fruit is supposed to taste like, so that's probably the flavor I'm tasting. It is a stronger IPA. It's a New England style, and you can taste that. It's got a little bit of sweetness, but it's not my favorite. Either way, cheers. Hey everybody, it's December 20th. Today's beer is Alert Level Orange. It's an orange stout. It's hard to see because the way it reflects, but it's a cool can design. Kind of got sunshine vibes on it, despite the name coming from the Homeland Security threat level system. Anyway, I'm excited to try this one. Fun fact about beer, the word beer itself, the English word comes from the German word beer, but it's spelled B-I-E-R. And that German word comes from the Latin phrase bibere, which means to drink. So similar to the Spanish word beber, which also comes from that Latin word, which also means to drink. The Spanish word for beer, however, is cerveza, so not the same thing as to drink. So the word drinking and beer are very closely connected in the history of language. So you can see how far back beer goes in mankind. Anyway, let's check this one out. It smells good. That's really good. Ooh, that's got a really strong, like a really good aftertaste too. It's got a sort of fruity start, which is interesting for a stout. It's different from a lot of other stouts. I don't know quite how to describe the flavor, but it's got a really strong aftertaste. It's got the more stouty finish, but it starts with the orange very clear and present. I like it. Anyway, cheers. Hey everybody, it's December 21st. Today's beer is Hazy Jane, just the regular old plain Hazy Jane this time. That's a New England style IPA, just like all the other Hazy Janes. We'll see how this one is. It's a 7.2%. Fun beer fact of the day, the US celebrates National Beer Day on April 7th, and that date commemorates the taking into effect of the Cullen-Harrison Act of 1933, which went into effect on April 7th of that year, and that bill legalized the sale and consumption of beer under 3.2% ABV. Remember, this was in the middle of Prohibition, so having any beer at all was kind of a big deal. FDR was the one who signed that bill into effect and famously said, "Sounds like a nice time for a beer." So anyway, let's try this one out. My brother challenged me to open it with one hand. I just cut my nails, so we'll see how this goes, but there it is. Pretty easy. Anywho. It tastes like a standard IPA. It's New England style, so it's a little bit juicier, hazier than some of the more hoppy, bitter ones. There's a certain sweetness to it, but it tastes like your standard IPA. That's your thing, good. If not, cheers. Hey everybody, it's December 22nd. Today's beer is Bonfire Blitz Winter Warmer. Now what the hell is a winter warmer? So in the summer, you might want to drink a beer that would cool you off because it's hot. In the winter, you might want to drink a beer that will feel like it's warming you down. So that's where the name kind of comes from. Winter warmer is a sort of British umbrella term for a lot of different styles of beer. In the US, they're sometimes just called Christmas ales, holiday ales, stuff like that. This is an ale, as it just suggested. But it's kind of just an umbrella term, so it might be spiced with nutmeg or allspice, something that gives it that sort of holiday feel. I don't know what this one in particular has been brewed with. It doesn't really say anything, but it should be a nice sort of Christmas ale or a winter warmer, if you will. Now, my brother said I didn't open the beer correctly with one hand. He said to do it not using the table or anything. So, God, this might be harder than... Oop, there it is. All right. Oh, and it spilled a little bit. Anyway, let's check this one out. Yeah, no, it's got that sort of winter flavoring to it. It's got that sort of spice, that like holiday spice kind of in the back of the tongue. It's nice. Yeah, it's got a nice sort of aftertaste that lingers in the mouth well. I like this one. It's pretty solid. It's a 8.0%, so it's a little strong. But yeah, cheers. Hey everybody, it's December 22nd. I'm going to try and get this review in pretty quick because my power has been going in and out with the storm. It's like minus 27 with the wind chill, so whatever. Anywho, today's beer is Cocotopia. It is a coconut stout at 8.5%. I'm excited to try this one. I like stouts. Coconut flavor sounds good too. Your beer fact of the day: the earliest archaeological evidence of fermentation was 13,000 years ago, and that was fermentation with beer residues in the style of like a gruel, and that would have been in what is now Israel. But the earliest clear chemical evidence of beer brewed from barley was between 3500 and 3100 BC in what is now Iran. So beer goes back a long time ago. There's reference to it in early writings. I think in the Epic of Gilgamesh there's a line that can be interpreted to beer. But anyway, so beer's really old. Let's try this one out. Ooh. Yeah, if you like coconut, that comes in really strong. And it's got that nice sort of stout, thick darkness. That's really good. It's not overly sweet. It has the bitterness I want from a stout, but the coconut flavor is like absolutely there. If you see it around, try it out. It's not bad. Cheers. Hi everybody, it is December 24th, Christmas Eve. Alas, it is the last day of the Advent calendar, and we are ending on my favorite style of beer. It's another IPA. Oh boy. This is Hoppy Christmas. It is a Christmas IPA. I don't know what makes it a Christmas IPA, other than probably the types of hops it's using. I don't really know. I'm just gonna crack into it and try this one out and see how it tastes. It's a drinkable IPA. It's not overly hoppy. I don't taste a whole lot of Christmas in it though. It's there. It's kind of subtle. Not overly Christmas, not overly hoppy. But it's not bad. It's very drinkable. I think this is one that you can get outside of the Advent calendar, so if you see it around, enjoy. And, yeah, well, it's the end of this season, and my time's almost out, but take time to enjoy some rich and dark stouts. As you sit round the tree telling all sorts of tales, I hope you'll partake in some wonderful ales. On this day that it is, the one before Christmas Day, perhaps you might like a hopped IPA. So when your time is most merry and you're relaxed as you were, you might come to enjoy a malty pilsner. I hope you've enjoyed this month full of beers. I've hoped to spread knowledge, or even just Christmas. Cheers. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks for watching.